Albert the Angry Alligator. Written by Joe Slade. Illustrated by A. Spencer. Albert the Angry Alligator lived in Africa. Nobody knew why Albert was always angry. Albert had been angry for as long as the other animals could remember. One afternoon, some time ago, a man who was an artist visited Albert. The artist wanted to paint Albert's picture. Albert wasn't happy. He attacked the artist. Albert snapped at the man and bit him on the ankle. The artist was amazed. He was absolutely astonished. The artist had never been bitten on the ankle by an alligator before. "I demand an apology," announced the unhappy artist. "I'll have to call an ambulance to get me back to my camp." The other animals were afraid that Albert would bite anyone who came to visit their part of the jungle. "We must find out why Albert is so angry," said Gary the gorilla. Gary hid among the reeds near Albert's home. Albert was asleep. When he awoke, Albert groaned and said aloud, "Oh, my back hurts so much." Gary ran back to the other animals. "I know why Albert is so angry," said Gary. "He has a bad back. If we can help his back get better, he won't be angry anymore. I have a plan." The next day, the animals gathered at Albert's home. "What do you want?" Albert angrily asked the animals. "We can help. Do what I say, and you will no longer have a bad back," said Gary. Gary climbed up into a tree. The other animals lifted Albert so that Gary could grab his tail. Gary pulled Albert's tail one way, and the animals pulled Albert's head the other way. Suddenly, Albert's back popped. "Oh, that's better already," said Albert. Thank you, said Albert. "I no longer have a bad back." Gary whispered something to Anna the antelope, and she immediately ran away through the jungle. Albert was very happy and didn't want the animals to leave. He had spent 2 hours chatting with them when Anna arrived back with the artist. "I hear you are no longer angry," said the artist. "Can I paint your picture now?" Albert agreed that he would like the artist to paint his picture. He was happy to be the center of attention. The artist's painting of Albert can now be seen in a big art museum in Paris, France. The title under the picture says, "Albert, the Happy Alligator." Bears and Beans. Written by Joe Slade. Illustrated by Fred Volk. Bob and Bev are baby bears. Bob found a bag of big black beans. Bev found a box of big brown beans. Bob and Bev both have beans. My black beans are better, says Bob. My brown beans are better, says Bev. My black beans will grow big, says Bob. My brown beans will grow bigger, says Bev. Bob makes a hole in the dirt with a bat. Bob puts his biggest bean in the hole. Bev makes a hole in the dirt with a bone. Bev puts her biggest bean in the hole. Bob and Bev check the beans every day. Some days, Bob's bean grows bigger. Other days, Bev's bean grows bigger. Both beans soon grow big and bushy. Bob brings a big ladder. Bob measures his bean plant. Bev brings a ball of yarn. Bev measures her bean plant. Both bean plants grow into big trees. Bob's tree has beautiful blue flowers. Bev's tree has pretty red flowers. Both trees grow bigger and bigger. Bob and Bev climb the trees. They climb the trees to see the tops. Bob's tree is not bigger. Bev's tree is not bigger. They are both the same. Bob's tree has blue berries. They are as big as balloons. Bev's tree has red berries. They are as big as baseballs. Bob and Bev fill their bellies with blue and red berries. April's Big Day, written by Dolores Kleinholtz, illustrated by Rebecca Thornburg. At the first ray of sunshine, April was wide awake. "Today is my birthday party," April said. "It's going to be a great day." She washed her face and braided her hair. Then she played with her favorite gift from Mom and Dad, a gray kitten she had named Snowflake. "I'm 6 today, Snowflake," April said. "Let's go celebrate by the lake." Out the door they went. April waved at a blue jay as she raced along the trail to the lake. "Hello, Blue Jay. I'm 6 today," April said. "Yay!" By the lake, Dad was blowing up balloons. Mom was arranging tables and chairs. April put party favors and hats beside the plates. She put a party hat on her head. "It'll be a shame if my friends are late for my birthday party," she said. Then April saw her friends coming down the trail with big smiles and presents. There came VJ, Katie, Dwayne, Maisie, and Daisy. But where was Jake? April gazed up the trail. Here came Jake with his Great Dane, Bailey, chasing after him. I was afraid I'd be late, Jake said, because Bailey jumped over the gate and followed me. Is it okay if he stays? He's gentle and won't scare anyone. April stared at the giant dog. The Great Dane jumped at her kitten, Snowflake, patting at her with his huge paws. Didn't cats and dogs hate each other? I don't know, said April. Maybe Bailey should wait in the shade away from my kitten. I'll put Snowflake over here while we play. Bailey lay under the shade of the tree, and April put her kitten near the trail. All during the games, April watched Bailey. She was a little afraid that Bailey would try to chase Snowflake. The kids played party games, and then April opened her presents. VJ gave her a paint set. Katie gave her a card game called Crazy Eights. Dwayne gave her crayons and a rubber snake. Maisie and Daisy gave her a baby doll. Jake gave her a toy race car. Everyone was having such a great time that they didn't notice the sun slipping away. Gray clouds darkened the sky, and it began to rain. Rain, rain, go away, Maisie and Daisy chanted. It began hailing as the party guests raced for the safety of the house. Just as April reached the entryway, she realized that she had forgotten about Snowflake in the wet confusion. Oh no, where's Snowflake? I forgot to get her, April cried. She's still out in the storm. Suddenly, Bailey, the Great Dane, raced through the doorway. He was carrying Snowflake by the nape of her neck. At first, April was afraid that the dog had hurt Snowflake, but then she realized that Bailey was keeping Snowflake safe. Everyone was amazed. Hooray for Bailey, they cheered. Afterwards, they sang the birthday song to April, ate strawberry cake, and watched a big rainbow spread across the sky. As the other kids began to play, April gave Bailey a taste of cake and said, "Bailey, you are invited to come to all of our parties from now on." The Big Blue Cube. Written by Dolores Kleinholz. Illustrated by Angela Kamstra. On a beautiful morning in July, Lucy found the strangest thing out in the rhubarb patch. It was a big blue cube. It was shiny, polished metal and didn't have any marks or writing on it. Lucy's mule, Duke, pawed at it with his hoof, but the blue cube didn't scratch or break open. "What are you, Blue Cube?" mused Lucy. "What are you doing here?" The blue cube sat there and didn't make a sound. "Duke, "Watch that cube," said Lucy. "I'm going to call my friends to come over right away." When Lucy's friends arrived, they grouped around the blue cube and stared at it. "It's cute. Maybe it's a music box," said Yuki. She picked it up, turning it this way and that, but there were no dials or knobs. Yuki held it to her ear. "I don't hear any music," she said, "so I guess it's not a music box." Junior took the blue cube from Yuki. "Maybe it's like a cuckoo clock," he said. "It'll only open up at a certain time and something cool will pop out." But no one else thought the blue cube was like a cuckoo clock at all. The group talked about the strange blue cube for hours. Junior made tuna sandwiches and fruit punch for lunch. They ate their food under the blue spruce near the rhubarb patch, sitting in a circle around the blue cube. "You're so cute, blue cube, but where did you come from?" said Yuki. "Did you swoop from the sky in a parachute?" Eugene, the smartest boy in school, stood up and said, "Excuse me, but I think I have a clue about this situation." The rest of the group turned to him and tuned in. If anyone knew what this blue cube was, Eugene would. "I read about a unit in a jet that can't be ruined or destroyed," Eugene said. "My conclusion is that this blue cube is one of those units, and it must have fallen from a jet plane." Eugene's solution made sense until a second weird thing happened in the rhubarb patch. A flying saucer loomed right over their heads. A hatch door opened. The ship used a beam of light to scoop the blue cube into the flying saucer. Lucy, Junior, Yuki, and Eugene stood staring up in amazement. From the flying saucer came the voice of an alien. "Gloop and zoom, how many times have I told you not to throw the blue cube out of the saucer?" the alien screeched. "If you ruined it, I'm not going to the McDougal's cruise-through to buy you happy treats when we reach the moon." The hatch door slammed shut, and the flying saucer, lights flashing, zoomed away into outer space. The kids gulped, still staring. "This truly did happen," said Lucy. "But who would ever believe what we saw in the rhubarb patch today?" "It's true, all right," Eugene added. "But what in the world was that blue cube?"
Chico Sees a Ghost, written by Dolores Kleinholtz, illustrated by A. Spencer. Not so long ago, Chico the Pinto pony and his friend Sophia were rolling and running along a sunny slope. Chico had been born with a too small bone in one leg, so he ran slower than everyone else. Over by a willow tree, Otis the goat was making jokes about Chico to his friends. "Go faster, slowpoke," Otis shouted. "You're slower than a potato bug." Chico ignored Otis. Instead, Chico rubbed his nose over the warm grass. Don't call him Slowpoke, said Sophia. His name is Chico. She kicked stones towards Otis, hoping to scare him off. Stones don't scare me, Otis boasted. I'm the bravest, boldest goat who ever lived. Otis posed like a statue, as though he were a hero. Alonzo Pig groaned. He was tired of hearing Otis boast about being so brave and bold. If you're so bold, Otis, Alonzo said, then I vote for you to go into the Kokomo gold mine and bring back a gold nugget. Everyone froze. The old Kokomo gold mine was haunted by ghosts, gnomes, and trolls. At least that's what all the animals said. It had been closed down long ago, and no one ever went into that cold, lonely place. That doesn't scare me, Otis boasted. I'm still the bravest, boldest goat who ever lived. Tomorrow, you can follow me over to the Kokomo gold mine, and I'll show you. So the next morning, all the animals followed Otis to the Kokomo gold mine. Chico lagged far behind because of his short leg. He rested for a moment under an oak tree. But before Chico could cross to the road leading to the mine, his animal friends came bolting past him, running as if a ghost were chasing them. "Whoa, why are you all running away?" said Chico. Oh, I heard the ghost moaning and groaning," shouted Jojo the donkey. "I saw the ghost glowing and floating over Otis," yelled Josie the sheep. Who would tell Chico what was really going on? "Chico, there really is a ghost," Sophia shouted. "A ghost got Otis and trapped him in the Kokomo gold mine forever." The animals dashed back to the willow tree, hoping the Kokomo ghost wasn't close behind, nipping at their toes. But what about Otis? He was still trapped in the Kokomo gold mine with no one to help him. "There's no such thing as ghosts," said Chico. "Otis might be hurt." So Chico charged down the road as fast as his slow leg could take him until he reached the lonely Kokomo gold mine. He poked his nose into the cold hole of the mine. "Hello," Chico called, hearing the lonely echoes through the gold mine. "Otis, where are you? Are you okay?" Then he noticed Otis crumpled beside a large stone, groaning. A dirty yellowed rag flapped from a wooden beam overhead. Chico rolled Otis out into the warm sunshine and poked him with his nose until he got up. Then Otis told Chico the story of what happened to him in the Kokomo gold mine. "I hit my head on a low beam and fell over. I hoped my friends would come and help me, but they all ran away," Otis explained. "There's no ghost. It was only me groaning." Otis grinned at Chico gratefully. "I'm sorry about being such a big phony. You're the fastest, boldest hero I know, Chico, and I'll never call you Slowpoke again." Crazy Cat, written by Joe Slade, illustrated by Signe Norden. This is Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat is not as crazy as he looks. In fact, he's quite clever. I can cover a goat with a coat. I can climb on his back. I can give him a cap. The goat will look cool with a coat and a cap. You can't do that, you crazy cat. You crazy cat, you can't do that. I can drag my cart to the crocodile. The crocodile will not be cross. He will not snap. I will not cry. You can't do that, you crazy cat. You crazy cat, you can't do that. I can carry a camel for a mile or two. I can carry anyone who lives in the zoo. Carrying camels is easy for me. You can't do that, you crazy cat. You crazy cat, you can't do that. Look, the goat has a coat and a cap. The crocodile eats corn from my cart. I am carrying a camel. It's not very hard. You can do that, you clever cat. You clever cat, you can, you can, you can. Crazy cat put the coat and cap on the goat. He fed corn to the crocodile. He carried a toy camel. Crazy cat is a clever cat. The Digging Dog, written by Joe Slade, illustrated by Nora Vutis. Dan loves to dig. He loves to dig in the dirt. Dad doesn't like Dan to dig. Digging makes Dan a dirty dog. Don't dig a ditch, says Dad. Dan digging ditches makes Dad mad. Dan digs deeper and deeper. Dan gets dirtier and dirtier. Oh dear, Dan digs up Dad's daisies. Dan digs up Dad's daffodils. Look at all this damage, yells Dad. No dinner for you today, Dan, says Dad. Dan cannot stop digging. Dan digs at night. He digs in the dark. He digs at the beach. He digs at the park. Dad takes Dan to Dr. Dot. Dan cannot stop digging, says Dad. Please help. He's driving me mad. Dogs love to dig, says Dr. Dot. Don't stop Dan having fun. If Dan can't dig, he will be sad. You must think of a way. Dan's digging won't make you mad. Dad has an idea. He thinks it will work. I have dozens of trees to plant in the yard. Dan can dig all the holes in the dirt. He can do a good job. He can dig very deep. Now Dan can dig and dig. Dad is not mad. Dan is not bad. Fox and Frog, written by Joe Slade, illustrated by Nora Vutis. Fred is a fox, a very furry fox. Fred has a friend. Her name is Fran. Fran is a frog, a very funny frog. Fred and Fran live in the forest. I don't like the forest, says Fred. I want to live on the farm. The farm is very far, says Fran. The farm is 4 miles from here. We are fit. We can get there fast, says the fox. If we don't fall or get in a fix, we can get there by 5 or maybe 6. The fox and the frog set off to the farm. They cross 5 fields of flowers. They cross 4 fields of hay. They must go fast to get there today. They come to a river. It's flowing fast. I can hop across in a flash, says the frog. You, Mr. Fox, can crawl across that log. Hoppity-hop, over the rocks. The frog is across. Now for the fox. The fox takes a few steps on the log. He is halfway across. His foot hits some moss. He falls off the log. He lands with a splash. The fox is wet. He's freezing, too. He's tired. He's hungry. He needs some food. Let's go back to the forest. We can make a fire. We can fry a fish. We can feed on fresh fruit. We can sleep all day. That's what I wish. Forget the farm. The forest is fine.
Grandpa's Goat, written by Joe Slade, illustrated by A. Spencer. Grandpa was always grumbling that his grass grew too fast. "I love my grass lawn," said Grandpa, "but the grass grows so quickly. I have to cut it every day." "Why don't you get a goat?" said his granddaughter Meg. "Goats love to eat grass. Goats are greedy and will graze on your grass all day. I know a girl who has a goat and she's giving it away. I'll get it from her and give the goat to you as a gift, Grandpa," said Meg. "Good girl, Meg. That's a great idea," said Grandpa. "Get the goat right away." Meg was back within an hour. She was leading a big goat. She led the goat into Grandpa's yard and closed the big gray gate behind her. "What a grand-looking goat," said Grandma. "I like his long golden fur." Grandpa couldn't wait. "Let's put him to work. Get him to cut my grass," said Grandpa. The goat began to graze on the long, green grass. Everyone gave a cheer, and then they left for lunch. They returned home later in the afternoon. When Grandpa opened the big gray gate, he gasped. All his nice green grass was gone. All he could see was bare ground where the grass had been. "Good grief!" exclaimed Grandma. "The goat has eaten everything. There's not one blade of grass left." "Where has the goat gone?" said Meg. At that moment, they heard a big bang. "It came from the garage," said Grandpa. They all ran to the garage. Inside, they saw the goat. He had gobbled Grandma's gardening gloves and was now eating Grandpa's golf bag. "Oh, no," said Grandma. "He's destroying everything." "Getting the goat wasn't such a good idea after all," said Grandpa. "You must take the goat back to that girl." Meg grabbed the goat and led him out of the big gray garden gate. When Meg came back, she was excited. "I've got another good idea, Grandpa," she giggled. "Let's get a goose to eat your grass."
Happy Cat and the Hats. Written by Joe Slade. Illustrated by Signe Norden. Hey, Happy Cat, look at my hat. Do you like my huge hat, Happy Cat? I see the huge hat on your head. However, I do not like that huge hat. That huge hat is horrible. Hey, Happy Cat, look at my hat. Do you like my high hat, Happy Cat? I see that high hat on your head. However, I do not like that high hat. That high hat is horrible. Hey, Happy Cat, look at my hat. Do you like my tiny hat, Happy Cat? I see that tiny hat on your head. However, I do not like that tiny hat. That tiny hat is horrible. Hey, Happy Cat, look at my hat. Do you like my top hat, Happy Cat? I see that top hat on your head. That hat is not huge, high, or tiny. I love that top hat, Crazy Cat.